Okay, I have a new recording, and this is a channel message, I think. Yes, it's a channel message. So I'm in Winchester, Indiana, 47394, and there are a lot of extreme amount of locations here that are historic, and everywhere is historic all over the planet. But there was certain dealings that went on in this Winchester area that held a lot of prominence. So I don't understand everything yet, but I'm talking about little boy Blue. And he's not like a little boy, but what are we going to call him? He's a teenager dressed in blue. Okay, we're going to call him that. That's what he likes. He's very sophisticated. And what we just noticed is that I came across a photo that I had taken of a framed drawing. It's like a painting of a young man. So he likes young men. Okay, so he's a young man in blue. He's very fancy. He's holding a hat, and we think it has a feather in it. I haven't studied the photo too hard, but what we did is he has an oval-shaped frame of him. It's a good quality painting of him, and it is in the asylum infirmary. And then there's also a very large painting of him. It's the same painting, so I'm not sure if the little one is a print that they put in a oval frame and take it to the asylum, but there's also a very large painting of him in the mansion, and it's completely destroyed. It's so moldy and gross. I hope somebody can restore it. But we noticed it because it's the exact same young man, and I'm just wondering who he is, and he is wondering who he is. So he knows he is well known. He knows he was raised to be prominent, like he is supposed to take over a position of importance. He does not like anybody that he's grown up with. He does consider himself a pompous asshole, but he also likes things the way that he likes them. He was always raised in that certain way. So when he sees other people just living in their daily life, especially right now, like he exists and he can see you. So some people that were raised in a very wealthy environment, or even if it wasn't very wealthy, but they had a certain amount of integrity between their families and they had a certain amount of value on things, they don't understand when they see other people who place value on nothing. So it's a more than a repulsed sensation. But right now, we're just trying to figure out who he is and why he was there. And then there's another lady, Lovely, who's over there in the adjacent living room. There is a door that separates them if you wanted to close that. But he knows her, and he doesn't know if he knows her from the afterlife or from before they both passed away. A lot of historical paintings are done. She's wearing a dress and it's sort of flowy, and they have the same. I haven't studied the paintings very much. When I see a photo, if it calls to me, then I focus on it for a second and then it comes back to me. Just like Lily, who was in the piano room, I had seen her and focused on her for a second, but I was more just like, it was a curious feeling, like almost I recognized her but I didn't know her and I wasn't sure. And then later it comes where they might remember more of themselves, but they don't. Not everybody remembers their name, because they've been gone for so long, and because of what happens in the underworld or afterworld, however you want to call it. There are many different worlds. So, but he knows that he's here and he is existing with me, and he is trying to find out more information about himself. So I do need to speak with Ted. I keep trying. I need his number. If I'm ever left back in the asylum, I'm going to get Ted's number. I'm just trying to connect with Ted because I thought I was supposed to be shadowing on tours with him, but now it's sort of at a standstill. But hopefully they call me today or tomorrow, because I'd really like to talk to Ted about more history. But when I have a chance, I'm a little bit more on my feet, that I can go back and look at maybe more photographs of people, because this is a painting of a young man, so we know he existed. That's what's really cool about old historical paintings, is that was them. And even if it doesn't look 100% accurate, like you could see many artists maybe try to recreate the photo of the person, but you will see that they are very accurate. But at the same time, this is a person that stood for a photo for them, but it took a really long time. It's a painting. So that's important when you're thinking about who lived there and in what times, and maybe who they were and how much money they had, but their status in the town. He knows he was supposed to do something important. He doesn't even know if he grew up. So all we've seen is he's seen his reflection in those two paintings, but we know it's the same painting. So I guess if anybody knows about that young man, please contact me and message me if you know any history about him. He's wearing blue. It's a very large painting in the mansion, but then there's a very small oval painting of his wall. It's identical. It's just a copy of it, but we know, we're wondering why that there's two in different locations. We're just wondering who he is. We're still gathering information on him. It might take us a while until we figure out more, but he just wanted to be recognized, and depending on how long Kelly Mitchell has, we don't know. But if you could please, if anybody is a historian, if anybody does care or knows and can connect maybe certain photographs, that's why Kelly likes Steve DeShavi, because he comes in, he's a retired homicide detective, but we know that it's like, oh, you have out of retirement, so and we know that's a hard job to compare everybody's info. But we're wondering with somebody like that, and we're just wondering who the old boy is. Sorry, young man. And if anybody knows about him, because we're really curious about connecting families. We can only channel so much, and it takes the longer that I'm here, the more that I can pick up on, but there are so many, so it's hard to figure out a full story. But just, he's here, he's with us, he doesn't like what is going on, but we've already spent so much time talking about that type of stuff. But it is important that you recognize that maybe your ancestors are still here, and just you're not alone, if anybody was wondering that. And there are so many here who have traveled with me and Kelly, who have traveled with many other who come into town, who have lived here, who have died here, who also just hear certain sensitives that follow them because they're drawn to them, because they want to remember themselves and they want to pick up pieces of themselves. There is they understand our plane, and then they understand their different planes. So they're not where we are, and that's why we're so lucky to be alive, to use our hands to create things of solid goods. So solidity to form creation and make things grow. We are actually able to do that here on our 3D plane, if that's what you want to call it. But that's why our life is so precious. That's why so many are mad that it was stolen from them. And that's very serious. But also, so many people did have very good lives. Not everybody can remember, but they did. And I'm bringing back more of my videos or my channel, my audio. But remember, not everybody is like a haunted, twisted soul coming to take you over or hurt you. I just walk with a lot of pain. I'm trying to help transmute pain. So that is what I specialize in. That is my area of expertise at the moment. But I'm also very aware when things calm down, I'm able to talk to ones who literally lived a peaceful life. Like, nobody has 100% peaceful life, but some people have more of a cushion type of life where they haven't experienced as much tragedy, and that's okay. Like, that is your life. But it should be known that there are so many here that really just want to connect with you. They like the way that you learn. They like the way that you speak. They enjoy the music that you listen to. They're encouraged by your brain capacity and your ability to feel within your body. And so there are so many that are gone, and they don't want to hurt you. They actually just are inspired by you. And this young gentleman just really wants to know more about his life and when he passed away, if you know, or if he grew up, or if he became anyone special. Because when we can see by that photo, he recognizes himself. He knows he's supposed to be something, but he can't remember anything else. And since we've seen that photo twice, we're really wondering who he was. And he doesn't haunt people. He is disgusted by certain behaviors of humans now. But certain people, like this young man, he honestly just gravitates towards people who are a little bit more classy, who are a little bit more like himself, that he can learn more of. People who like to read, like to dine finely. It's hard. He says it's hard for him in Winchester, but he has seen certain families that are not his race, but he gravitates towards them because he respects them. So that is just a side note, but I just want to tell you that you're always surrounded by beings who lived and died here. I mean, it's 2024. So you can imagine how much has lived and died and still exists here, even if you can't see or feel it. But they do want to tell you that some of them are progressed enough that they can't see you and feel you, or some of them can just sort of like wisp in and be inspired by anything that you're creating. And there are a lot of people that welcome that. And I just wanted you to know that is happening, and that is really cool for all of us to know. And that is part of becoming an ascended master, or having your channeled messages in your creations. That means you're integrated enough and peaceful enough within yourself that you can connect with more. And that just means you're allowing more to come through your consciousness so that you can create something with that. And that's going to be combined with what you already know, what you already feel, and what you already believe. And then certain ones will come through you when you open up, because you ask for help in your creation, or because you're open. And it's not because you're cheating and you're stealing from them. It's because it's literally like a channel of connection where it's an open flow. Not everybody gets to that. But I do want to tell anybody that is creating or is wanting to have a change in their lives and wants to get back to something more peaceful and something more open and something more real, you do have the ability to do that. So I did want to make that known. Not every single one of my channel messages are extreme and angry. That is just something that's been happening lately, personally, because of my own situations. And the ones that are with me that I pick up that are also her also feel very passionate for me as well. It is a joint relationship between me and the ones that I'm with. It is an integration, and we are all passionate about pain that people experience in all stages of their lives. But we also remember that not everybody has been tortured and been in extreme pain. So I wasn't trying to scare anyone. It's my responsibility to heal people from the bottom up. That is what I do. So at first, the situations that I've been in are extremely sad. But there are other ones that are not sad. And there are many people from the town that just literally died. But they haven't done, they just lived their life and they died. But they're not doing anything wrong. And they're really sad about how you continue to treat what was theirs and their belongings, and even though they left you, because they could see you. They know what you're doing with their things, and that's very hurtful. And yes, you can feel safe in your own home, but it would be really nice if you could just try to take care of things a little bit better and try to be a little bit better of a person. Everything is monitored. It really is. And if you can come to grips with who you are in yourself, and you find peace, and you also give, but you allow yourself to receive, it has to be both. So you have to take care of yourself, but you also have to take care of others. But then you have to remember to come back to yourself so that you can take care of others. That's just a side note, but I just wanted to talk about everything that exists all around you. And I know that many of you have lost loved ones. And you don't have to dig so far deep into anything. You don't have to be afraid that they're going to hurt you. And you don't have to go back and put out all their photos and light candles and do offerings and donations. You certainly could if you want to. And it is respectful, and they do enjoy it. But you do not have to. Not everybody who died haunts people. The people that get haunted are the ones who are disrespectful. And also, the people who get haunted are the ones that go in scary locations where humans have twisted and binded up anybody who's passed away to come and hurt a human that comes in there. Whether intentional or not, that is actually happening. And so that is why I'm afraid for other humans, because I don't want anyone hurt in any stages of their lives. So that is how I, Kelly Lou Mitchell, experience the beyond and pull that forward and then take that back again. That's just my experience and how I handle my channeling and my intention to heal others. I want to absorb the pain, not because I just want to take it on myself, but when they feel less of their pain, because I'm willing to show them that I can take that in for a second, they can be reminded of a little piece of themselves. And each time they get a little piece of themselves, they regain that humanity that was there, that was stolen. And over time, that gets lost. And if you're talking about thousands of years, if you go way back, you can imagine, hopefully, maybe, what that would be like. It takes a very long time to regain everything that was stolen, especially if your tomb was robbed. And that goes into sacred texts and so much more. And so that is the type of scary stuff that I'm talking about that gets really twisted, that hurts and haunts people. And that is very real. I'm not saying that is everywhere, but it is in many places, especially in certain hotspot locations where certain ghost hunters and certain people go. But then you have these are historical places as well. So then you have innocent people who are seriously just interested in the history and have no idea what they might be getting into, because other paid people come in and do very scary things. Intention scopes all surroundings. So I'm very aware of that. I don't know if you are, but I am. And so I am here to protect anyone who does not want to be hurt by something like that. That's just me, Kelly Mitchell, explaining to you what my intentions are for the things that I believe and the journey and the mission that I have to accomplish. I have no other choice. When you accept a mission of faith, you have to do that. You are surrounded by so much more. You actually have to do that if you've fully accepted and you've been initiated into a position of healing. Healing and growth are the only things that move anything forward. And that we only want to move forward to help the entire planet. We are dying as a planet. And please, you do understand that. If you are trying to reverse the growth of humanity and you want to erase history, then you are doing the opposite of what anybody is trying to accomplish to create healing on this planet Earth. So if you are bringing people down on purpose, if you're taking their money, if you're stealing, if you are withholding, then you are definitely the problem. So please be aware of that, because everybody is aware of that, whether you see them or not. So it's not a threat. It's for entertainment purposes only. But so that's my next one. It's about Mr. Young Man Blue, and if you knew him, and also if you want to give Kelly a job so she can learn about history. But we've talked about my job so many times. I think they're very, very aware. But I do need to explore this young man further. If you could help me out, that would be great. Thank you.